thinking like a prosthodontist. To be honest with you, up until this course, I didn't know a lot about prosthodontics or dentures, and so this was a real eye-opener to me. And the first project we had really helped me to understand some concepts that I feel like is important when thinking like a prosthodontist. Some of the things I learned were, first, it's important to think outside the box. Oftentimes, you're going to have people come in, and every case is going to be different. No one person is the same. So I figured out that it's important to work with what you have. When we were making our selfie denture and I made my denture out of wax, I didn't have a lot of instruments at my house or things to make a perfect denture, but I was able to work with what I have and make it look good. And so that was something I learned. Also, another important thing I feel when thinking like a prosthodontist is not to be afraid to try new ideas. Even if you screw up, it's just a denture and we can fix it. So I am making a video on what it's like to have a fake denture in. My experience has been, it's been pretty rough. I can't talk right. I feel like I want to gag or throw up, and it's not very fun. Eating and just trying to be social just is awkward. So it's been a good experience. I've learned that I like to take care of my teeth and never have a denture someday. But yeah, just not fun. So I'm going to take it out now because I feel like I want to throw up. So that's it. Over and out. What type of dentures are available today? I like to categorize them based on stability and retention in the mouth. The first is your traditional type of denture, which is just a normal denture. There's no retention in the mouth. You can easily take them in and out, clean them as you will. You are limited on the food that you're able to eat, such as corn and steak. Many people have a difficult time doing that with these dentures. The next set would be an overdenture. An overdenture is more expensive than the traditional denture. It is retained by 2 implants here in the front of the mouth. There is slight movement in the back of the mouth because there is no retention there. And it is removable, which is nice for cleaning and things such as like that. You can eat better than your normal traditional denture with this. The next denture is called an overdenture bar. This is similar to a hybrid denture, which is the last set of dentures I'll speak about. An overdenture bar is a series of implants connected to each other with a bar, where the denture will fit onto the bar and basically give just a little more retention than the overdenture. This overdenture bar is more expensive. It has less movement, and again, that increases their ability to chew and eat different foods, which is a big advantage to some people. And the last type is the hybrid denture, which is dentures completely retained by implants. So hardly any movement, so there's retention in the front and in the back. Usually you're able to eat most of the foods that you like. As far as the cost of these dentures, they're considerably more, especially when comparing to the traditional denture. Now let's talk about concepts of idealism. During this course, I learned a lot about concepts of idealism because when it comes down to it, there is a need to be able to make dentures that patients feel comfortable in, they feel confident in, and people who look at them have an attraction to, in a sense, that find them to be aesthetically pleasing. And so concepts of idealism help us to meet those needs. We talked in class about meta-idealism, which is the idea that we as people are attracted to those who are aesthetically pleasing. And that is because when we see someone who has nice teeth, nice hair, nice eyes, nice nose, nice chin, whatever it might be, they stand out to us. Their facial features, the dimensions on it, stand out to us. And it triggers inside of our brain, in our frontal cerebral cortex, a trigger that says they are aesthetically pleasing to us. So as we make these dentures, we need to meet the needs of meta-idealism. Also, there are 3 other things to keep in mind while making dentures. These concepts of idealism, 3 other concepts. First, macroaesthetics, which is the face related to the mouth. Next, mesoaesthetics, which is the mouth related to all of its surrounding tissues, such as the cheeks, the lips, and the lower portion of the nose, and any tissue close to or related to the oral cavity. And finally, microaesthetics, which is the relation of the teeth to teeth, meaning one tooth to another tooth. So down to the very smallest scale, looking at how the teeth are angled or contoured. Here is a list of things to consider, a comprehensive list of things to consider when trying to meet the needs of meso and microaesthetics. The purpose behind these is to create that beautiful smile, that beautiful set of dentures that your patient will feel comfortable and confident. So, how to make a denture? Here is a long list of steps that we could take to make a denture. These steps are the traditional steps that have been taken for years and years and years and been taught in school for years and years and years. And they're time consuming, they require a lot of time away from the patient, they require a lot of time in the lab, and sometimes are over tedious. We learned in class that the most important thing to do is to develop a relationship with the patient and meet their needs. So why aren't we spending time with them when we should be doing so? Here is a list now that we learned in class that is a more efficient and probably a more exact way to make a denture and meet the needs of our patients. It requires less steps, less effort, and produces great results. And so here's a series of pictures that will illustrate these steps, a denture in a day. Here is a picture of the first step, an alginate impression. It's meant to take a basic, rough outline of the patient's alveolar ridge. It will go to be cast, to have stone poured into it and create a cast, upon which we will create a hard try-in, which is made out of a triad material. On top of that triad material, we build up a wax rim. This is called a Wayne-Newton rim and can be made within an hour of the patient's alginate impression. Very time efficient. Next, we'll go and use that triad and wax rim, and we'll build into that rim, going from heavy body to light body PVS, a very precise fit of the patient's alveolar ridge. Here you'll see a picture of the final product. This will help us to be able to create a very precise and accurate fit for the lab to use to create their final dentures. Next, with the wax rims, we'll create, using this prescribed flow chart, we will create a perfect denture that will meet both our meso and micro aesthetics as we mentioned before. Here is a picture of us measuring those aesthetic needs. For example, the midline, as you can see here, and the zenith line. These measurements will then enable us to go on to place teeth in the wax rim and do so in a way that we feel is aesthetically pleasing and best for the patient. This enables us to use our artistic ability to create the best denture for our patients. This will go to be sent to the lab where they will use it to create the final product. So now let's talk about repairs, relines, rebases, and resorption. As you can see, we're going to need to do repairs. The way we do it is we accurately look at the person's mouth and affix the denture based on what we see using polymethyl methacrylate acrylic. Inevitably, we will also need to know how to do what's called a reline. People will get uncomfortable with their dentures and the bone will resorb in a way that they need to have a new fit. We do this by simply adding more polymethyl methacrylate acrylic into the base and reinserting the denture and letting it dry and harden. Now for rebases, you'll see here in this picture that this man is doing a rebase. Basically, we take the whole base, grind it down to practically nothing, and then we rebuild the base so that we're not dealing with a large amount of realigned material, and it's not as bulky and difficult for the patient. Now you'll see in this picture resorption. It's inevitable. Resorption will happen with your patients in time. Hopefully not too much, but you're going to go from a class 1 to a class 2 to eventually a class 3, as you can see in this picture. Finally, patient relations. In this class, I have learned a ton about this. This has helped me to very much so approach my future and how I will interact with my patients. I learned that you need to speak in a language that they understand. I learned that if we do so, this will not only help them understand, but also help them to treat their mouths and oral cavities in a way that's appropriate, because they've learned from us and it's made sense. Next, we need to dress in a way that these people feel comfortable and confident in who we are and in our ability to give them care. Our dress is important. Next, I would add that their needs may be small at times, may not make sense to us, and we would assume that there's no need to change or do something to meet their needs. Although they may be small, we always need to pay attention and listen to what they're saying, because they are not just our patients, they're people, and ultimately our friends. So ways to improve. Honestly, in this class, I feel like there's been a lot that I've learned, and I've come to understand the amount of innovation that has occurred over the years and that is occurring right now. Been really happy with the class. Feel like I've learned a lot. My idea that I think I would add, if I could change something, and I'm not exactly sure how I would do it, I would need to sit down and maybe with some engineers or whatnot come up with some ideas, but would be to enable the patients who receive hybrid dentures to clean better. So almost find a way for them to remove those hybrid dentures but still maintain their ability to have the retention they do with the hybrid and to be able to eat food in the way that they do. So to maintain the retention and the stability they get with the hybrid, but also have the ability to clean and take care of their mouth in the way that they need to and detach those dentures. Again, it's been an awesome experience. Sure enjoyed learning about dentures in the way that we have, and thank you.